Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Eustace Farmer and I have another tutorial for you today, and I have broken it up into two segments. It's the same video, but I just kind of segmented it a little for you to keep things a little easier. So segment 1, as you see on the screen here, is going to be how to add money to your XML. And the second segment is all about how to activate Developer's Console mode, and going to show you how to fly, and I'm going to show you a few other things. So that brings another point to mind. I know that other YouTubers have already put videos out on this, but I find that everybody learns a different way, and maybe if you've watched one or two other videos and you haven't quite got it, I don't know, maybe my teaching style might turn the light bulb on for you. I'm not saying I'm anything great, but as I said, everybody learns differently. I've also got a few extra little tips packed into this that maybe others haven't covered, so it might be worthwhile for you sticking around and having a look. And hey, let's face it, if I avoided making a video just because somebody else had already made a particular video on that subject, then I'd probably make no videos. Alright, so the first thing you want to do before you embark on any project on your computer is make a backup copy of the original. Whether you're doing Farming Simulator modding or XML editing or some other program on your computer, it's, I know, a little bit of an inconvenience, but a little inconvenience now can save you potentially a whole lot of heartache later. When you're doing more complex projects, of course, you want to make incremental backups as you go along. So when you've done things that are good, save it, back it up, and that way if you get a computer crash or a power failure or some other disaster, you won't have to go back and start again or go back hours. So that's what we're going to do right now. So you go to this PC, Documents, My Games, the Farming Simulator 19 folder, and because this is a quick and easy thing, we're just going to back up the two files that we're using today. So we'll just highlight the game XML, not the game settings XML underneath, but the game XML, and then the particular save file that you're looking to edit. Mine is save game 2, so highlight those both, and then on your keyboard you can hit Control-C to copy, or you can right click and copy, and then you can create a folder on another part of your hard drive or an external hard drive or whatever, and then you can hold Control, Shift, and N to create the folder. That's a nice keyboard shortcut for you. Name that folder whatever you like, and then hit Control-V to paste. Boom, done. So before we continue, just a quick reference to this category here, the money on your save game file when you go to load the game. This is just a reference. This does not tell you that the money that you've added into the game is there. You add the money in the Farms XML script. When you take the money that you've added in Farm XML script and you copy it into the Career Game Save file, it only appears here. This is what the Career Game Save does now. It's just a reference. I find editing the Career Game Save file an unnecessary step. I've seen other YouTubers tell you to edit both files. You can, you're not hurting nothing, but you really don't have to if you don't want to. I'm going to show you how to do both, but just know the Farms XML is the important one. Once you load the game, it's going to update the money based on what it reads from the Farms XML anyway, and then when you save it and close it and come back, it's going to update here, okay? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so you know the drill. This PC Documents, My Games, and Farming Simulator 2019 folder. Select the game save that you wish to edit. Mine is save game number 2. Double click to open it up and go down to the Farms XML, and then we're going to right click on it, and you can open it up with Notepad on Windows, but I use Notepad Plus, and this is why. The Notepad on the Windows computer is not as comprehensive, if you will, as Notepad++. As you see here, it's very simplistic. With this script, it's easy. I mean, money is right there at the top, so you can find that in a heartbeat. But when you're dealing with more lengthy, complex scripts, and you're looking for something within those strings of code, Notepad++ is more organized. It's color-coded and all of that. So that's why I use ++, and as you see, it's nice, color-coded, organized, and it even has a handy search feature, so you can hit Find Files or Control-F, and then type in the money amount or whatever you're looking for, type it in there, and if it exists, it'll find it, and it did. You can hit Find Next, and it would bring you to that line. We'll type in $50 million to make a stark contrast. Now, you're going to want to hit Save. Don't forget, see, Farm XML is red. That means it hasn't been saved. So you can get distracted. Save it, and then it'll take. All right, now we'll go into the Career Game Save, just because, and we'll find money. It's always a good thing to find. Type the 50 million in there so you'll see it When you go to the loading screen, go up to the top and hit save. $50 million. There you go. We're rich. Potentially. So now we have to open the game save for the game to read the farm XML script. And it has. And now 50 million simoleons has been registered. Happy days. All right, so how you doing? You still with me this far? That's awesome. Stand up, slap yourself in the face, do some jumping jacks, have a strong cup of coffee, and let's get back to it. There's a special reward for those who stay to the end. And don't try to skip to the end because it won't show up that way. Don't do it. All right, segment 2. We're going to activate developer mode and we're going to learn how to fly and some other dog and pony tricks. Let's go. All right, I think you know the drill here. We're going to go to this PC documents, My Games, Farming Simulator 2019, and then we're going to right click on the game XML, not the game settings XML underneath. We want the game XML. Open with Notepad Plus, and then if you scroll way down to the bottom in this short little list of code here, you're going to see the word development, and then underneath you're going to see controls in brackets and the word false in the middle. And this is the complicated step. You just change false to true. It's that easy, folks. Now we see game XML is red, so that means we have to save it. So we'll save it and it turns blue and green and we're good to go. And now whenever you go to load your game save file, you can monitor the log by pressing the tilde key, and that's that wavy line above the hyphen. And on the British keyboard, it's right here above the hashtag. And you can monitor how things are going as it's loading. It's going to load all the mods, everything that you have in there, and you'll be able to look for errors. And the Giants Ravenport map does have some errors, as well as Felsbrunn. And you can determine what could potentially give you problems before you even start playing. Some mods will give you problems off the bat. Others, you really have to get in there and buy some, lease them, and use all their capabilities and see if they throw errors as you're doing it. And then sell the mods and see if you generate any errors. That's how I test. You'll also have to scroll the log from top to bottom because the last portion you see is the last several things that have been loaded. So you use your page up and your page down buttons to scroll up and down the log. Okay, so now that we've already pressed our tilde key once to bring up the log, now we're going to press it again so we can enable the command prompt, which will be the little blinking cursor next to the hashtag. And we can use our tab key to scroll through our list of options until we get to our first little gem, which is GS toggle flight and no HUD mode. Now you can type this in manually. You'd have to type it exactly as you see it with the lowercase and capital letters, all together, no spaces. But I find for this particular string, it's easier just to use my tab key and tab to it. Now let's talk a minute about this. This does exactly what it says it does. It's going to give you flight mode. But it also does something else that a lot of people may not have noticed that have used this particular mode. No HUD mode. You don't need a HUD hider. If you want to take all the HUDs off your screen, this allows you to do that by pressing the letter O key on your keyboard. When you press the letter O, it takes them away. Press it again, it brings them back. The only drawback to this is that's the same key that controls your pipe in and pipe out on your combine harvester, but you can remap the pipe key to make it a little less frustrating for you, so every time you go to empty your combine, the HUDs don't go away. So at this stage here, all you should have to do is press enter on your keyboard and it should say equals true. If it doesn't, that means either you have activated it before during some point of the game session and you forgot, or there's just a little hiccup or a glitch. So if it says false, just open up the command prompt again and tab back to it and hit enter and it should come up true. Okay, so now the next step is we go to our keyboard and we hit the letter J key. Now why do we do this? Think of this as a lamp. When you go into the developer's console and you tab to the toggle flight and no HUD mode and hit enter, you are enabling it. So that's like plugging the lamp into the wall. You're giving it power, but you haven't activated the lamp yet. By hitting the J key, you're flipping the switch to the lamp, if that makes sense. And now it's powered on and ready to use. If you hit the J key again, it'll temporarily turn it off. You can turn it on and off during the game session, but the entire feature, the flight and no HUD mode, will be disabled whenever you leave the game. When you come back the next time, you'll have to do the same process again. Tab to it, hit enter, come and hit the J key. Okay, so now if we hit Q on our keyboard, we can go up, E to go down, W to go forward, A to go left, D to go right, and of course S to go backwards, just like walking. So if we type in small gs, weather with a capital W, add with a capital A and a space, and then rain, we're going to get just what you see here. And it's going to take about 23 hours, 1376 minutes. Fast forward the time, and you're going to get your rain. If we substitute rain with sun, then you're going to get sun. And you can also do cloudy. So here's a nice little setting to run for all you farming simulator photographer and videographers out there. If you like achieving that rather cinematic, dramatic look to a photograph or video clip. Generally, in the movie industry, the standard is about 24 to 30 FPS. So if I use like a digital zoom and set my field of view, the FOV, to 30, it kind of lends a very cinematic look to things. It gives it that touch of grain and that zoom that can only be found in doing it this way, for lack of a better way to explain it. So if you do small gs and then the word set with a capital S and then in all caps FOV spacebar 30. Now you can experiment with this number. My normal field of view is 65. So I brought it down to 30 to 35, and that gives it that nice look. This shot is done in my usual 65 FOV, and this one is the 30, and this one also is 30. Now here for the train clip, I used a field of view of about 40, 45. So not quite as dramatic and zoomed in to your eye, but yet I was standing a considerable distance back. And then I zoomed in using the FOV, and that's because the train stops for nothing and nobody. But this also brings up another point. Let's say you're trying to film a combine harvester or a tractor going down the road or going through a field, and you have it set to the AI worker to operate the machinery. When you get in close proximity to that piece of machinery, whatever it is, it usually stops. So this eliminates that from happening by using FOV. You can do your overhead or your front shot without interfering with what the AI is doing. You can digitally zoom in and capture it that way. So here's a shot in the usual field of view of 65, and then this is field of view of 30. Now, I also made a video right back to back with this one, and the little tile icon will come up during the closing credits. Click on that. It's going to show you how to turn off depth of field. Now that kind of goes hand in hand when you're doing photography and videography at such zoomed in close-up ranges. If you're filming some scenery, you don't want to zoom in like this and have that terrible blurred out background of the hills that Giants has overdone. So I show you how to turn that attribute off. So when you zoom in, you won't see a big, fuzzy, jagged, blurry mess. You'll see those nice hills in the background. And I say nice loosely. They're actually kind of look like those cardboard stand-up things, oil painted with a rag, but I digress. That's for another video. But I will say that it would be nice in the future if they would give us in the in-game setting menu an option to turn on and off depth of field, both on PC and consoles. That would be huge. And rounding the home stretch here, if you push F5 on your keyboard the first time, you're going to get this wire colored mesh. Now, what does all of this mean? Glad you asked. I'm going to tell you all about it. So the reds that you see are the collisions. And why would you even want to know where the collisions are? Well, through my experience in playing Farming Simulator, sometimes when you get a mod author or even Giants themselves, they might move an object in the map and forget to drag the collision attached to it and leave it in place. Other times I've gotten bad mods where you'll reset the mod and it'll leave the collision behind, and then you'll be walking or driving along and boom, you'll bump into something invisible. Well, this is a good way to see what in the heck it is. Now, if we zoom in a bit closer here, we can see all these little like orangey yellow boxes and so forth. These are triggers to items that you can interact with. So again, why would you want to see what these do? Well, sometimes you walk up to a building or whatever and you know it's supposed to open or move in some way and it doesn't. You can see if a trigger is even present or the position of that trigger. Sometimes they raise the terrain in the map and they'll raise up the building and forget to raise up the triggers, and the triggers can be sitting partially or all the way under the map. So then you can bring the map into Giants Editor. If it's a mod map, it's a little more difficult if it's a Giants map, and you can adjust those interactive triggers to your liking so it works correctly. And if you hit F5 a second time, it'll bring up all the light emitter wires, if you understand what I mean there. Don't know the technical term really. And then if we hit it for a third time, you'll be able to see those light sources throughout the map. Tap F5 for the fourth time and it shuts it all off. So there is a whole host of other things you can do, but I just selected the things that I think practically that you would use on a regular basis, and items that I feel are kind of safe where you really can't screw anything up, really. I tried to be as thorough as I can and give you an informative video to not only show you these features, but tell you why to use them or how they work. And I hope you think I've accomplished that. So I did promise you a reward if you're still sitting here at the end of this video. So here we go. Congratulations, here is your certificate of completion for surviving another farmer video. And not just any useless farmer video, but a tutorial video. So you should be very proud of yourself, because I know that I'm proud of you. So take a screenshot of that, hang it up on your refrigerator, and enjoy it. And you never know, hold on to this, because someday, after I'm dead and gone, it just might be worth an upwards, I'm going to be speculative here and say 10 to 15 cents. You just never know. And that is a huge profit considering you got it for nothing. So go ahead, take that screenshot. You know you want to. So all kidding aside, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you think down in the comments section, and I sincerely appreciate you taking time to tune in and watch. So until next time, my friends, take great care of yourselves, okay? And bye for now. Hey, before you go, please consider subscribing and tick that alert bell so you know when I'm coming up your driveway, and you'll have time to turn out the lights, lock the doors, and pretend like you're not home. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and you'll be automatically entered into the G You're Swell Club. For those who like to give the thumbs down, I haven't left you out. You'll be invited to join the Poop Head Club and be treated to our signature dish at our all-you-can-eat buffet. Hey, let's keep in touch outside of YouTube by following me on Facebook and Twitter, and I do the occasional live stream on Twitch. But the very best way to get a hold of me is via our Discord channel, the Simulation Gaming Society, founded by yours truly and my great friends Grizzly Bear Sims and Duck Zorley. Thanks very much for stopping by, and I hope to see you again next time.